Wuthering Waves. Where do I even begin with this game? If you've been online, you've inevitably seen something about this game, from their incredible looking characters to literally taking over all of Times Square. Well, over time this game has become one of my favorites, but why? Well, I want to talk about that. The story, combat, music, gameplay, community, and just about everything else that's great about this game, while also pointing a light towards some of the bad things which people usually leave unsaid. So if you're interested in how a seemingly basic gacha game can cause people to react like this, then I'll do my best to show everything. After all, there has to be a reason no matter where you look online, you'll see people talking about the game. Right?
Being born of lies, grasping for meaning in a world that was none.
Remember this. We were once your wastelands. Renita will surely know a lasting dawn.
Okay, if I can be completely honest, the early game story is pretty generic all things considered. The main character wakes up, has no memory of what happened to them or what they were doing before they got here, and now they're trying to remember everything while of course being accompanied by a group of women who are gushing over how epic and mysterious the MC is, right?
For junior patrollers, lesson 1, CPR. Ugh.
However, I was already having a good time, and that was because I learned this character's name, which might not seem very crucial, but to me it was important for one very specific reason. To give some backstory, when Wuthering Waves first released, or Withering Waves as I thought it was called at the time, I sort of kept up with the game, but I wasn't too interested since I was already working on the Genshin video and the game didn't really have anything to pull me in. But regardless, I still saw some things here and there about it. One of those things involves a certain developer livestream, in fact the literal most important one for the release of the 1.0 patch, and a certain content creator. What's her name again? Yang, okay. Gee, I wonder what her lore is.
What are you even looking at?
Wait, it's the funniest shit of all time, wait. This was actually one of the official live streams.
Holy shit.
This was a guy, this is one of the like creators for this game, Rexland.
Yeah.
He was featured in Moving past that, however, even though this game definitely felt a lot like Genshin Impact starting out, which was at this point my only other gacha game I played before, I still enjoyed it a lot. It was a fresh spin on a concept I was already familiar with, and since I've played a similar game before, it allowed me to pick up on the differences between the games, whether big or small. One of those things I noticed right at the start is how in-depth the combat system is. It feels incredibly smooth, and I was already having a blast just messing around trying to figure out what combos I can pull off on the characters. And something else that I noticed is that all the characters have ulti animations. Really cool ones at that.
Storm, hear my command.
But after running around for a bit, fighting some enemies and collecting bird eggs? I got 3 bird eggs, what about you? I'm kinda crazy. I came across an issue which I truly believe is what causes most people to turn away from how otherwise incredible this game is. That issue was lore dumping. Lore dumping the history of every single person that has ever fucking lived into one sentence. 1 second, me and the gang who woke me up are walking towards the city while helping me figure out the basics. The next, I see myself looking at Dre the Sentinel, in brackets Oracle Engine of Jinzhou, in the shape of a loon, in brackets Dragon. And the next, my character is staring at a statue while smiling with zero thoughts behind her eyes. Is my character autistic? Why is she smiling at the fucking dragon statue?
She actually does act autistic. It's weird.
This one sentence alone, I think, captures 90% of the issues I have with the early game. Keep in mind that at this point, it has been 11 minutes total from the moment I booted up the game. 2 of which were spent laughing at this, 5 were spent trying to change my settings, and the rest were actually playing the goddamn game. I still don't know what the fucking Oracle Engine is, and I say this as someone who has since played through literally the entirety of the story. But okay, let's say you move on past this info dump. You fight a few enemies, pick up a few chests, break some rocks, and eventually make our way to meet up with Dr. Baiju for a checkup. However, we stop at a cliff right before that for yet another lore dump. But whatever. We get our glider, our sphere thing, and go to investigate a tacit field, which will cause issues soon if we don't deal with it. That is, until this happens. finally, the first boss fight of the game. Oh man, I bet this will be really difficult and I'll be forced to repeat this fight over and over again. See, when I first got this game, I thought this would be the Dark Souls of gacha games. People described it as being really difficult, and I came into this game with that in mind. I knew that gacha games weren't known for being difficult, but since people were so adamant about this game being hard, I was quite frankly pretty excited for this fight. It is now with hindsight that I can tell you I was very, very wrong. In fact, the concept for this fight is super simple. Whenever you see the big yellow circle on an enemy, you can parry their attack and reduce their shield. Whenever the shield is broken, they'll enter a vulnerable state for a few seconds. Okay, pretty simple, but you know what they say, simple doesn't always mean bad. Now, how does the game present this information? I honestly, truthfully, on my fucking life believe that this is the game's single biggest issue. Listen, if you've gone this deep down the rabbit hole to play a fucking gacha of all things, this isn't your first video game. I don't need to know about vibrations, reverberations, vibrators, whatever the fuck else.
Wow, what? Okay, yeah, deal damage reduce. Oh, fucking vibration. Yeah, no, for sure, dude. Yeah, no,
Yeah, vibrate. You know vibration?
Immobilize, okay. Deal damage to reduce enemies' vibrations, check. Counterattack, reduce enemy.
And then
Yellow circle equals parry. It's so simple. And you want to know the worst part? This game is really fun. Listen, after playing this game for a solid 300 hours, it was getting quite lonely, so I decided to introduce my friend to the game to see what he thinks of it. For reference, he gave Genshin Impact a shot, but didn't like it too much because he felt the story dragged on too much. Now, would you like to know at what point in the game he quit? I'm not kidding when I say that it happened at the actual 15-minute mark after slogging through the most boring, awfully voiced dialogue of all time with the most uninspired story, paired with the fact that he couldn't even change his settings until he skipped through the first dialogue, so he couldn't even properly enjoy the intro cutscene, aka the only interesting part of the lore up until now. So after painstakingly loading in and finally being done with the dialogue, he spent like 10 of those 15 minutes changing different settings, and by the time he was ready to play the game, he didn't want to. Listen, I'm a high schooler, so I have all the time in the world to sink 100+ hours into a game to figure out if I enjoy it or not. Most people don't. If you can somehow get through the early game, the game becomes a masterpiece. Honestly, it just sucks that the process of getting there is mind-numbingly boring. Just about the only form of enjoyment I had at this point was because I was in a voice call with a friend, so it made the boring parts a little more bearable.
New resonator.
Oh, Camellia, Caramel, whatever the fuck her name is. God, I forgot.
Yeah, they show it in the tree.
But whatever. You get to the city after being called the Seat of Fate. You're then invited to a one-on-one meeting with the mayor. But of course, before that, you first need to get scanned by the fucking receptionist who has a built-in Sigma scanner.
Oh, she saw my fucking Sigma frequency.
Yeah, she saw my aura.
Alright.
She can only see people's aura, dude.
She judges people not by the outward appearance, but their frequency. In other words, she saw that we got the Sigma. What does my frequency look like?
It looks like a wolf or a fucking turtle.
It looks like a wolf on the inside, but a sheep on the outside.
It looks like a turtle on the outside. What the fuck is that?
Wow, that sure is a funny comparison to the wolf in sheep's clothing. The game would never actually do.
The lambs reveled in endless bonfire parties, celebrating their new god every night. Except the one little...
Fuck, okay, 1.0 sucks. I'll say it how it is. Now, I know that I was super negative just now, but all of that isn't to say that the game is bad. There were things that I enjoyed about the game, obviously, such as the art style and how much it has improved since the betas. The game went from looking like Nier with the saturation slider turned down to 15% to having its own identity, and a beautiful one at that. The combat was fun, the exploration was satisfying, and the grappling hook allowed for even better movement than what I hoped for.
Oh, whoa, wait, this should be fucking big.
Did you unlock something?
Oh my goodness, lads! Exploration is it's cooked. Yeah. Yeah, this might be game of the year.
Oh, the motorcycles. Is that what you got?
What? I got the motorcycles, dude. Yeah, no. So, yeah, no, for sure. That's exactly what I got. What's good?
Sorry, I meant the motorcycles. I just don't understand why to get to these cool parts, you have to sit through the most complete ass in the first place. But I do still have it in me to put those things aside and enjoy the story for what they try to convey. It might have had horrible dialogue, bad facial expressions, extremely forgettable music, and a story that despite having a skip button felt like it dragged on for way too long. But even despite all that, I'd be lying if I didn't say that there were some parts I enjoyed.
Interesting, Rover. I'm liking you more and more. Fight or die. Shall be sown this day.
Oh my fucking god, is that Paimon? No! Wow, I was pretty negative there for a while. I sure do hope that the Wuthering Waves community will respect my opinion about the, in my opinion, flawed early game aspects and not devolve to insults. I'll talk about the community aspects later. That's too big of a topic for now. Anyways, the main reason I actually wanted to finish the 1.0 story was to see Geshulin, where is he? But also because I knew that once I finished the early game story, I'd get access to tons of new content. My personal favorite on that list is convening, or as I like to call it, the hobby. And by the way, I don't have an addiction. I can quit anytime I want. Did I completed the quest. Yes!
Yes! Oh no, okay, yes! Okay. But I don't want to skip dialogue.
Oh my goodness. Yes, lads. Now might be a good time to mention that I've technically been playing gacha games since I was 5. Like, 5 years old. It's only recently I realized that fact because I actually started playing Castle Clash, a gacha ripoff version of Clash of Clans back in 2014 on an old tablet. So, maybe playing a gacha game during my most vulnerable developmental years wasn't the best for me, but who knows. That's an answer I rather wouldn't have. On a completely unrelated note, by completing the first act of the story, I not only got access to the hobby, but also tons of other stuff alongside it. For example, the character trials, where for the first time I got to play with the different 5-stars in this game and see what all the hype was about. Because despite me being unreasonably lucky and getting Encore on my first ever 10 pull, I still wasn't 100% sure on how much time I wanted to invest into this game and if the characters were interesting enough for me to do so. It is now safe to say that many hours later, that is no longer a question that I have.
Now the pressure's on, what did they expect? I'm coming for everybody until there's no one left. As long as my heart stays beating inside my chest, there ain't no time to rest. I'm a little bit obsessed and that's why I be coming for your neck. I'm coming for another pound of flesh. Got you running for a place to hide, but it'll be a waste of time. I'm patient, I only bite when the danger's high. I smell blood, that's a good enough reason. Your heart's getting stuck between my front teeth, and just when you thought it was done and I'm leaving, nope, the fangs deepen, and I'm screaming.
Race to the finish! To face death from the crown of glory! I'll be the monster on the stand ground, but I will not live in this false peace, pretending nothing happened.
Listen! How will you answer their dying pleas? You have an end for this eternal carnage!
Straight up, if you've never played a gacha game before, stay the fuck away because playing the limited 5-star characters feels like crack, both in a metaphorical sense, but also in the money aspect. I don't know what kind of bullshit they have access to over there in China, but they designed these characters perfectly that it hits specifically that monkey part of your brain that makes you justify spending $300 on a character. And I am more guilty of this than I'm willing to admit. But, to be fair, can you blame me when this is what the gameplay looks like? Dude, this shit is straight up addicting. Not only do the characters already have such cool looking attacks that even running one can feel like you're in a cinematic, you can pair each other's outros, intros, quick swap them and more. You used an echo skill that takes a long time on one character? Well, how about you swap to your sub DPS, do the rotation, get the outro buff and swap back to your main DPS. And believe it or not, I have yet to mention the actual single coolest aspect of combat in this game. Quite frankly, if I hadn't previously mentioned my age, I would have said some things that would get this video demonetized about how straight up fucking buttery smooth the combat is. And something that helps the combat greatly in this game is the echoes I mentioned previously. Picture this, you're a new player who just completed the tutorial. You got into the wilderness to murder some more animals, but when you do so, this happens. That is an echo, a literal Pokemon you can capture and use for stat buffs as well as their unique abilities. But since this is a gacha game, to get those stat buffs, you of course have to roll the dice every time you want to upgrade them, and pray to whatever god you believe in that you roll crit chance or crit damage, energy regen, and whatever other stats your character might want. And in a normal game, this might be the end of it. But of course it doesn't end there because every character also wants a specific Sonata effect. So effectively to get one of 5 best in slot echoes for one character, this is the process. Kill an enemy, hope that they drop their echo, hope for the correct Sonata effect, hope for the correct main stat, and then lastly and most importantly, Pray to God that you roll the correct substats. There are of course ways to speed up the process, such as using your daily energy on the different areas designed specifically for farming echoes and some other things. But that's the general process. So when I was just starting out in the game, you can probably imagine what my reaction was to finding all of this out.
Right. Wait, oh, I see the Sonata effect. Is that what you're talking about?
Wait, let me check. The Sonata effect, yeah, 1 out of 2.
It's randomized. Mine has energy regen.
Oh, mine is healing plus. Okay, cool. Wait, what is your thing in the top right? Because for me it's energy regen attack. Those should be the same, I feel. Right?
Arrow damage attack.
Wow, that's actually fucking. Wait, so what do you? So I have energy regen percent attack.
So we're talking about the Stonewall bracelet.
Stonewall.
Right?
I'll send you a screenshot of what it looks like for me. Can you do that as well?
Yep. Okay, so
that's
everything
crazy.
is randomized.
So that's fucking crazy. I understand why people were complaining now. I get it now. I get it now.
That's actually almost awesome.
Dude, imagine getting a best in slot echo. Oh, dude, no. Like,
this is the kind of gambling I like, where you can't spend money on it.
That's what you think.
But as much as I want to talk about more of the combat, there's also tons of other things that I want to talk about that in my opinion are equally as cool. One of those things being events. Something to know about this game is that the actual gameplay in the events is much more interesting than how the game describes it, a theme you can probably pick up on by now. Take this event for example, which I played for 5 hours straight and completed entirely in one sitting, going as far as to do the bonus content which doesn't even give rewards. That's how fun it was. It's essentially a little tycoon game where you have to optimize your daily income as much as possible based on the different tile sets and effects provided. Here are some screenshots of the quite frankly stupid looking boards that I had, and all that is just from one event from one version update, so of course that's not all. Tower defense, card game, the theater mode, the anniversary event. Oh god, the anniversary event. My point is that this game has tons of super interesting gameplay if you can just somehow sit through the story. Man, speaking of the story, isn't it kind of weird how despite it seeming like the most important part of the game, it kind of sucks? Here, let me check back real quick and see if it's gotten any better.
My story ends here, but you must keep going. No matter how far you wander, you will always find me here on these black shores. You better go! Thank you, my star.
I think it was at this point that I realized this game really was special, and not in the facial expressions type of way. Just about any issues I had with the stiff expressions, bad voice acting, and the other million things that I mentioned were instantly gone, just snapped away. That's how good the Black Shores and Renita was. Renita for this game was their second and final chance at bringing back the player base after the disaster that was 1.0. And boy did they do so successfully. I really can't convey how amazing the story itself is without spoilers, so I'll do the second best thing. Talk about everything else that gives the story that extra spice. You didn't like slow movement and exploration? Was it annoying having to teleport to an objective then spend 5 minutes running back elsewhere? Boom, we gave you fucking wings. You can literally fly around to anywhere you want now. This is a completely free unlock, by the way. No gate-kept mechanics, no battle pass bullshit, literally just free accessible exploration for every character. And in case that seems too good to be true, just in case you think it's probably not that good since there's no way they would give you that for free, here's 1.0 movement compared to 2.0, aka post-Renita.
Leave it to me.
You thought the previous soundtracks were forgettable? Well, here's a literal professional opera singer losing his mind about an OST.
Wow, that's cool. Oh! Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! No fucking way! Holy shit! Oh my god! They referenced Queen of the Night! Oh my god!
And he's not alone on this. Tons of even the background tracks I've added to my playlist, they're just that good. The character designs got much better as well. You know what they say, send me to the wolves and I'll come back a father. If you told me to describe the characters from 1.0, I could give you like 2 characteristics at most per character. For some of them, 2 very big characteristics.
Perfect weather for a walk.
Dude, she has guns. She has a gun.
You got guns, bro.
But in Renita, I can give you a detailed explanation of each character's design and how immaculate both the style as well as the writing for them is. Oh wait, I already did just that. I'm not even kidding, by the way. I wrote a 900-word essay explaining the intricacies and the wonderful design of Cantarella. Do you want to know the best part? I wrote the entire thing based on her trailer alone. That's how good it was. I haven't even seen her in game up until that point. The character trailers are so fucking incredible. Not only the symbolism in them, but also the music, storytelling, showcasing each character's trauma and personality through indirect events that may or may not have happened in game, with incredible framing and colors, based on the real life region that they're from and the history from there. Like how Cantarella is based on a poisoning the character as a jellyfish and she poisons food, and then dude, I haven't even talked about the environments in Renita yet. Dude, the environments... If you don't think this shit is mesmerizing, you need help. Legit, go to any place on the map, turn off your HUD, take a screenshot, and there's like a 90% chance that you can use that as a wallpaper. The voice acting took an incredible turn thanks to the great casting. There he is, oozing with style, culture, and pure passion for the game in every little detail you come across. I honestly mean this when I say that I could keep talking about this stuff for literal hours, but I truly don't see the point when you can boot up the game yourself and spend 10 seconds walking around in any of the areas from this game. Want to know something else? I made sure to leave the best for last. The dessert, if you will. If you thought that the Black Short story was good, or if even the 1.0 story was good, Renita is where everything changed.
You, with your long life and its endless possibilities, still choosing to start over, even at the cost of all your memories.
Illusion stripped her of freedom, and her tears have long since left her nowhere to hide.
Why would someone be looking for me?
I'm sorry.
That too is my wish.
Come to me, mighty God killer.
Tell me, do you think a performer would ever realize that he is part of a grander play? Pathetic as he was, in his final moments, he outran his fate.
What madness, what cruelty, what impossible goal would drive you to cast them all aside? You've gone further than I ever could.
Where I am your blade, we'll find it together.
Everything begins and ends here.
Humanity has its flaws, exploited by the Throne. But we shall not go down without a fight. Mankind will not be oppressed by the Throne. Make way for your destroyer.
If the road ahead is dark, then let this soul be the spark that lights the night.
Paths were never truly opposed. One day they shall cross again. Righteous one, raise the lantern and let its light banish this vital darkness. Renita will surely know.
I'll split the gem from its physical form.
The lasting dawn.
I hope that showed how big of an improvement I'm talking about when you compare the earlier parts of the story with this. I think the difference becomes quite clear. It is in my opinion that Wuthering Waves is at its best when experimenting with different story aspects. When Kuro games care more about a good story with a potentially controversial ending instead of trying to please everyone with mediocre, uninspired writing. Which, funnily enough, brings me to my next point. The game has improved. A lot. In fact, it wouldn't be unfair to say that devs, listen, this changes everything. Genshin Impact Killer is finally here. Here's 15 mistakes you should avoid when starting out in Wuthering Waves Guide, working 2025. The reality is that the game has improved in just about every aspect, even since I started playing in 2.1. I honestly believe that this is the single most active development gacha that's out there right now, with the devs listening to the player base more than ever. Of course, it doesn't compare to something like Warframe, not even close, I would say. Yes, it's a self-promo from a Warframe video. Please go watch it, it's good, I promise you. But it's actually insane that just about everything the players had an issue with, the devs addressed. You didn't like how some characters needed 2 sets of echoes based on the teams that you're using? Well, how about we give you presets so that you can swap faster between the sets? The 1.0 area feels slower in comparison to Renita because you don't have access to the wings? Well, we introduced a quest that gives you flights in the 1.0 areas as well.
I fucking love Wuthering Waves, man! I fucking love this game! I love these devs!
Does the Spectral main character feel underpowered compared to the rest of the cast? Well, once you get to Renita, you'll unlock Spectral Frazzle, which is a literal direct buff. Are you tired of weapon banners not having guarantees and spending $2,000 on a single weapon?
Swear to fucking God! You have to be
Well, thankfully, this game has a guaranteed weapon banner without any pity not carrying over bullshit. Or recently, for example, the new lighting system that allows you to change how you want your game to look without needing tons of third-party apps. What about events? Well, the important ones are permanent, so even though you miss out on the limited time rewards, at least content that's important for the story won't be forgotten forever. Basically, there's tons of improvements to all systems anywhere you look. But, of course, for all the good this game has, there need to be downsides which not even the dev team can solve. I suppose this discussion was inevitable.
It's my turn to shine.
Here's a taste of the abyss. I weep for the light.
Before we get into the next section, I want to mention something, and that's that I have channel memberships. All members get exclusive posts about upcoming video progress, where I sometimes share my montages months before the actual release of the video. On top of that, you get channel emotes, your name featured in the credits of videos, loyalty badges, and more. The coolest perk in my opinion though is the alternative video versions from the second tier. These are exclusive versions of videos that have many changes from the public release, such as new montages, better sound design, and more varying from project to project. Honestly, I try to fit in as much as possible into these benefits because this is what I would want if I was considering becoming a member. So if any of that interests you and you want to support me in the videos I create, please look at the memberships page for more detailed info. But with all of that out of the way, let's get back to the video. Hey, whether you're a Wuthering Waves player, a Genshin Impact player, or a content creator reacting to this, how has the feedback been on this video? Are there tons of positive comments, or maybe it's the opposite and the video is hated? See, regardless of the response, this was sort of planned. Let me explain. Gacha games are predatory. This is by design. Some gachas are nicer with their rates. You know what's crazy is that I get a double here. Back to back or just a double? No, just a double. Many people don't know this actually, is that you're actually guaranteed a double. Dude, this is like my fucking 4th 50-50 I've won in a row. That was pretty early. Well, no, it wasn't, but like in the tempo, it was early. Okay, so oh, that's big. I don't know what the fuck is.
What? What the fuck? What?
While others can be quite cruel. And an issue that has been plaguing this community, which I have since refused to interact with, is drama. Which I understand sounds really silly on the surface, right? No way can the issue of community bad be the biggest problem for a game. Except gacha players are built different in the worst way possible. This game is bad. No, this game is bad. My billion-dollar company is better than your billion-dollar company. No matter where you look, it's just drama, 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 drama. This person said this thing. Well, fuck that person. They're a leech. They don't deserve to live. We should skin them alive and drink their blood as a sacrifice towards the great Kuroge. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, just shut up. God. You know how tiring it is when I want to boot up one of my favorite games, go online and think, oh man, I enjoyed the music in this new quest so much. The writing was so good, the atmosphere and the colors are so beautiful. Let's see what others have to say. And then in response, be met with the most ghoulish-like responses that's almost as bad as the fucking K-pop stan community. Somehow this seems to be a reoccurring theme in my videos where I'm disappointed with game communities, but I truly do mean that there is no space worse than the gacha one. And if you're like me, someone who completely refuses to interact with those spaces, I don't blame you. Instead of players trying to build up each other's games and appreciate the things that are good, with discussions about what could be improved, people defend their quote-unquote game like their fucking life depends on it. Because they've already sunk hundreds if not thousands of dollars into a game, then that game becomes their personality, so now anytime you criticize the game, they feel like they're being critiqued themselves. Instead of just saying, hey, I understand that this game has flaws, but I enjoyed it enough to spend my money on it, critical thinking goes right out the fucking window, and now they're trying to prove to everyone how every flaw is actually a good thing. Your game has a skip button? Oh, that's interesting. See, I enjoy my game, so we don't need a skip button.
Lay here and do nothing.
The movements of the abyss are once the
Okay, I don't give a fuck.
Most people have. Is that the traveler in Pylon?
Please,
Get.
Get me out, 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 please.
She said that
Please, I don't care, I don't care, I don't
she's
care, I
always
don't
got
care,
a
I don't
pile
care,
of
I don't care,
commissions on her
please.
plate. So you, well, if I, she wouldn't turn. Hey, have some confidence.
Shut the fuck
Second
up.
thought.
Yep. Can I?
No, guys, it's a good thing the devs aren't giving us artifact presets after 5 years. We got fucking artifact suggestions. How is this real, man? Oh, it's fine, guys. We got the time skip for quests. It only took them 5 years, but they added a skip button. As in, a button which skips time needed to progress the quest. Sorry, back to the topic. Gacha players are both victims of the companies, but also their biggest defenders depending on their mood that day. At the end of the day, the games are good. Some I prefer more than others, but that's my opinion. Why bother trying to prove someone else otherwise? The amount of discourse I've seen online about people telling each other that they shouldn't be enjoying a game is fucking crazy. Yes, play new things. If you've only played a single gacha game in your entire life, maybe try a different one. If you've only been playing gacha games your entire life, maybe play something else.
Не нравится мне этот коридор.
Я с кем сейчас?
С нами.
О, ёбаный, смотри, смотри.
Ебать.
Вот это, кстати, приятель. Hello, don't push me off, please.
Oh, I'm good. Don't push me off, please. You fucking speed bridging, fuck.
Nerd.
Oh.
That's what you get for trying to break this shit under me, motherfucker. If you think that fucking Paimon Emergency Food is the peak of comedy, watch an actually funny show. If you think that Kuro Games is the most generous company of all time and how they can do no wrong, play Warframe and get fucking stunned by how free-to-play friendly that game is. And if you disagree with everything I've said in this video and think I'm wrong about literally everything, that's fine. In fact, I enjoy when that happens. I enjoy when people actually listen to what I have to say. Then they think to themselves, that's a fair point. However, I disagree. And then we both move on like fucking adults. I really don't want to talk about this stuff because I feel like it taints the otherwise beautiful image I have of the game, and because bringing this up inevitably only causes more bullshit, but it's something I can't just ignore in good faith. The unfortunate reality is that if you interact with the negative people, you'll get insulted. If you reply, you'll also get insulted, maybe even more so. You win by not playing the game, which sucks because I really do enjoy said game. I have a question. Did you notice how negative I was about the game at the start? This is once again by design. I don't want a community of people who will turn on me the second I criticize something they enjoy. Fuck that, man. Healthy discourse isn't created by insulting each other or saying that one company is better than the other. It's created by treating each other like people, remembering that at the end of the day, we all want our games to be better, and being tolerable of disagreeing opinions. And if the reception to this video is the way that I plan for it to be, hopefully I won't be called the Antichrist over opinions about a game. I know I won't change how people in this space react to certain things. At most, I can only hope to make the discussion slightly more bearable. My final advice is to leave the immature people behind, stop interacting with the negative aspects of the community, boot up the game that you enjoy, whether that's Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, or fucking Nikkei. Try to take in the story, walk around for a bit, listen to the music, grind some echoes with your friends. Don't let anyone tell you how you should enjoy your media. And most importantly, don't forget to occasionally appreciate how far we've come as a human race, to the point where all of this is possible.
It's too hard to say goodbye. Give us a try to sing around.